Good morning, everyone. We'll call to order the meeting of the Marine Advisory Board. If we may, before we get to our agenda, this being September 11th, I thought it might be appropriate if we just take a brief moment of silence to remember all those people that lost their lives 23 years ago today. Thank you. First item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from June the 12th. I think we've all read the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections or changes suggested? I have one very minor point. I did read the minutes, and early on it talks about the removal of IS machines as opposed to ICE machines, a minor typo. But other than that, I think the minutes were fine. Could we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Rick.
Second.
And seconded by Kevin. Very good. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. I think I know the answer, but are there any citizens to be heard regarding items not on the agenda? And I think that looks like a no, so we can move on to new business items first, and that's the marina rate increases discussion.
Morning, Board. Mike McDonald, Marine and Aviation Director.
Yeah.
These are just what we're asking for your recommendation on is the rates for next fiscal year.
Waiting for it to speak.
We've asked for what we're recommending is a 5% increase, and the transients, the harbor marina tenants, and then the tenants at Island Way Estates.
So not for the beach?
Not for the beach.
Okay.
The beach marina recreational tenants have all left for the upcoming construction. And then we have some transients that'll be there until the 15th of this month. I think there's two that are having some issues, but they'll be out by the beginning of October. And then it's just going to be the commercial fleet at the beach marina. And we're not recommending any increases for the commercial tenants. So I'll let you guys discuss.
I wouldn't have any comments. It's not unreasonable.
No, I looked it
Any
over
thoughts?
there. It's not a huge increase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we, I should ask you this while you're at the podium, are we still ranking among the lowest rates in the area?
We're starting, the last couple of years, we've done some 10% increases, and we're slowly creeping up to what the rate study that Dunedin put out in 2023, the beginning of 2023. We're getting closer to that. We're still not there.
Okay.
Towards the end of the beach marina project, about a year from now, we're going to do a rate increase of our own and set the rates, to recommend to council to set the rates at whatever the third party suggests.
What is the rates right now?
I don't have the sheet in front of me. Can you pull up
There's a,
item 4.1? Oh, up on the, they're asking me what the rates were. I can't see it.
I can't pull up something.
That's okay, that's not big.
Okay.
No big.
Do you have something to put here? Or is it?
No,
an agenda item?
It's okay.
it was an
It's
attachment.
attachment to the,
We have to have it pulled up for us to put it on the
Okay.
monitors. Do,
it's an attachment to the agenda.
I gotta find the agenda. I don't use this computer. Hold on. This one. No, it's.
While you're pulling that up, Mike, perhaps refresh my memory. Is this an item, as I recall, are we supposed to have a vote on this and recommendation to the council, or?
Yeah.
I thought there was.
it's from-
Okay, fine.
It's a recommendation.
We will. All right.
Almost there.
Almost there.
This mouse is terrible.
There we go. A lot of numbers to memorize. And I thought it would.
Well, I was just curious what the square, or what the footage rate was.
Wow.
on the transient, but
Can you guys read that okay?
Not easily.
that'd be a no.
That's getting good. Private tenants, residents, foot per month, 1192.
I couldn't
Non-residents,
pull up the little,
13. Residents, transients.
so as you can see, the harbor marina tenants are going from, the residents of Clearwater, they're going from 1135 to 1192. The non-residents are going from 1326 to 1392. And that's a foot a month. Island Estates going from 1173 to 1232, and then the non-residents going from 1423 to 1494. And then the transients, the rate per day, per foot is going from 262 to 275. And then the daily equivalent of the weekly rate for the transients going from 187 to 196. And then the daily equivalent of the monthly rates going from $1.31 per foot to $1.38.
The online tool DACWA provides a significant discount, looks like.
Yeah, it's a good discount.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's an online tool for reserving dock space.
Oh,
Yeah,
Variety of
that's-
many places.
I looked through Dock.
Do you?
you do use that?
Oh, yeah. A lot of the marinas require you to do that. If you call them, they make you do through DACWA.
Oh,
Like Marina Jacks and Sarasota, you can't just call down there. They'll tell you, book through DACWA.
And then we have a link through our website that we'll link it to DACWA for reservations.
Okay, so on this item, what we need is a motion that we recommend approval of these rate increases through, I guess, the city council. So.
so moved, I'll
Somebody
move
wants
that.
to make a motion, all right, Kevin makes a motion, seconded. Thank you, Dina. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And opposed?
I'm a voter, I'm never in favor of raising the rates, but I'm good with it.
Okay. All right, so we move to several old business items next, starting with the commercial tenant outreach group update. Is that from Tricia? Okay.
Tricia.
There was a little confusion on that, if you noticed. You had minutes from their last three meetings, and 3, 4, and 5, and if you went to 4 and you opened it and you started reading and you realize you're on 3 because the header wasn't changed. So you had 3, 3, and 5, but if you read them, they were 3, 4, and 5. It was just not the header of the file name, but the header of the actual item when you opened it still said meeting 3.
There was my Scrivener's error. It was my fault.
Confused me for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
2 or 3 whole minutes?
Yes, I figured it out pretty quick.
Good morning, Tricia Rodriguez, the Travel Explorers in the Clearwater Ferry. I'm here to update you on our group. You just said that you did read the meeting, the minutes from the last meeting. I guess so I could just update you a little bit, just so that anybody can understand what's going on. So a couple of the updates, we'd just like to really thank the city of Clearwater for doing everything they're doing to market us. We know that we're gonna have a lot of let's just say, people aren't gonna be around us. And the first thing that they are doing to really help us is, you'll see that the fence line here, this example of what they're gonna be doing to the fence line all around the construction area. They've asked us to all give them our logos and everything so that they can market us the way that they can. But all around so that it looks beautiful, and they can't, people, all of our guests can't see the construction. They'll be putting all of that fence line, all the marketing around the fence line. So that's one great thing. They're giving us updates as they have them, as they make everything. What else can I update you on that's different than before? We are working to get, the city is working with different ways to do the dredging. At first glance, it looked like we were going to be having all of the dredging inside of the marina. which we still might have, but it looks like they said that they are considering dredging, material wasting, water options, possibly out on the water instead. That would be better. If that is possible, we don't know that answer yet. The other thing is that we don't know where we're going to be going, but this is where all of the businesses that usually have booths that are going to be closing down will now be where the parking was along the side here. And it looks like they've figured out where we're going to be going. We don't know yet which ones are going where. We're deciding that in the next couple of weeks, I think. Those decisions will be made. I think all of the tenants are telling them if they need it, what they need, all of that. So we'll be making those decisions very soon. Let's see, what else? Regarding the parking, they are working with Ava. I don't know, I don't have any updates on that, but we just heard that they are working with this company to see if they can help with the people moving problem that we're going to be having. I do have an update. I couldn't talk with PSTA. PSTA recently, with the Clearwater Ferry, had a RFP out, so I couldn't talk to them with regard to the park and ride situation that we had thought about. But this morning, actually, I told them I had this meeting this morning to get an update, so that was my way of kind of getting an update from them. And I do have a meeting after this meeting with the Jolly Trolley. We're working on a park and ride idea. Essentially, I don't know if I have a map of it. Let me see if I do, because that would make better. Essentially, a park and ride idea with regard to the ferry. With the new RFP that went out with PSTA, we're going to be having more ferry rides, and the park and ride would would basically have a Jolly Trolley that picked people up at the parking lots that are downtown and bring them down to the ferry. The hardest challenge that we have is getting guests to easily use the ferry. There's 4,000, basically the data that we have says that there are over 4,000 people that are in that marina riding those boats every single day. So we thought if we can move some of them onto the ferry, park downtown for free, use our garages, work with and basically be around all downtown would be a good thing for the downtown tenants. I don't think I have it. But essentially, it's moving people from the park and ride, from the garages down to the ferry. And the PST update is they think they do have that available for us. They're working through it, and we'll let you know if we have an update on that, because it doesn't look like I have it.
That's a good idea.
So those are my updates. Do you have any questions?
I would like to say, since I made a fuss, I don't know if it was the last meeting or the meeting before, that you were kind of created before we were really advised on it. I think I closed that by saying, but it sounds like a good idea. And reading through the compilation of just the last 3 meetings, you guys are attending to a lot of little details that we wouldn't have a clue on because we're not down there every day. And I think you're doing a really good job.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
point. Agree.
Well, I'll speak for Chad as well. He's actually on a boat right now driving. That's why he's not here. Otherwise, he would like to be here to update you too.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tricia. All right, the next item is on the Beach Marina Reconstruction Project.
Who read through every line item of that construction
Yeah,
schedule?
I have several
Oh, yeah,
questions on many of those
absolutely.
engineering charts.
It was kind of intense reading last night.
Mike McDonald. So you guys got the updated schedule with everything that's going on with the permitting, correct? So I'm going to brief you guys on what's expected the next 3 months. Right now, it's kind of hard to fill you guys in, but I've sent you guys the best case and the worst case scenario. So evidently what happened is the United States the United States Army Corps of Engineers, they overlooked a small detail in their application process, and they didn't consult with one of the federal agencies, the National Marine Fisheries Service Protected Resource Division. So they're trying to get a fast track on that. We'll know within the next 30 days if that happens or not. So the best case scenario is we get the permit in October of '24. The worst case scenario, it could be February of '25. The good news is that's not gonna hold up the upland construction that we need to complete. It'll prevent us from pulling any pilings, but we can still take out the docks, the stringers. We can start the upland work, the electric, anything from the mean high water tide up.
Can you do seawall?
We can do the cap. We can start doing repairs on the cap. So the only thing we can't do is anything below the mean high water tide line. So with that being said, our timeline looks like for the next month is for the kiosks, the temporary locations for the kiosks, we have to run electric, we have to run water. So we have some vendors that are doing that, and we're working on getting the PO issued today, or get the work order issued today. And so hopefully to have that work done by October 1st. We also got to have a water curtain, some barriers to protect the people since it's in a parking lot. So we have those ordered. They're supposed to be in by the beginning of October. So from October 1 till October 15, we're going to start transitioning over the commercial tenants to that temporary location and start moving them over to the fuel dock side where they're going to be for phase 1. And that deadline is we're hoping to have everybody moved by October 15th. October 16th, the construction fence is going up, and October 23rd is when Kokalakis is actually taking over the construction area. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any
You
questions.
had to do some dock work on some of the slips on the east side for the
Yeah,
commercial tenants to be able to move in, is that?
The fuel dock, yes, we've been working the last 4 months, putting K-bracings in, redoing the stringers, putting in dock boards to make rooms. We've had to remove some of the catwalks for the vessels to fit in there, the commercial vessels. And we still have to pull the cement pilings, get those out of there. And then some more K-braces we have to put on and some more stringers that we have to repair. But it's gonna be an ongoing issue with the load that the fuel dock's gonna have during phase 1 of this construction. We'll have a team out there every day repairing something.
I had seen in one of the drawings, and maybe it wasn't in the construction part, but maybe it was in one of Trish's reports. It looked like they had taken out some docks out of the plan.
No.
There were some red lines through it, like these will go to accommodate fishing fleet.
Okay, so when we went through the value engineering process, when we got the original guaranteed maximum price, one of the things that was a part of that value engineering is we removed the finger piers that were in between the fishing boats. They don't have it now, they're not needed, so that was a way for us to save on cost.
Okay. I thought it was,
Yeah.
I
so
thought
just
we were
some-
losing slips,
No,
but just
we're not
losing
losing slips,
needless
we're just-
docks,
yep.
okay.
Which actually freed up more space for the fishing fleet by doing that.
Okay, no further questions? Thank you, Mike.
Uh-huh.
So our next item, Harbor Marina North End Wave Attenuator Project.
Jeff, do you want to take that one?
Not really?
I have Jeff from Public Works here. He's been working on this, the wave attenuator that was damaged from Hurricane Ian. We're replacing 4 of those wave attenuators with 3 wave attenuators and a catwalk. Let me put this in there.
Just by way of my confusion, it says north end, and I got confused because I think it's really the south
It's
part of the marina, right?
It's the south basin north end.
South base, north end of that A dock.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, got it.
The corner closest to the bridge
Got
there.
Yeah.
We replaced the south-south wave attenuator, south basin, south corner.
Okay.
Last year and now.
Last hurricane.
Yeah. Now now the north corner of the south basin.
So we're at 90% design with this project, and everything's moving along. We hopefully have we have brought Kokolakis on as a construction manager at risk, and they'll do all the construction. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
How long, yeah, when is this one likely to start? How long will it take?
We're gonna be using, if we can complete the negotiations, it's a different vendor for this corner. We're not using the marine technology wave attenuators. We're gonna be going with FS Marina, and we hope to have those fabricated by late spring, early summer, so we can get them in before the storm season next year.
So the actual construction would take place next summer?
Yeah, the actual installation would be next summer, yes.
So the concern from some folks on Dock A, of course, is that they just relocated there from the beach marina. And I think their perception is that they have to move, that they don't have to move till you start the work, right?
So that's correct. It'll be just like when we replace the south basin, south side wave attenuators. We'll relocate them within the marina during that construction.
Excellent.
I think last time it took a little over 6 weeks, but there was some holdups with some of the stuff. So if the process goes smoothly, it shouldn't be more than 3 to 4 weeks.
If there's limited space, at least one person suggested, gee, even if there was a dinghy that I could use from Dock B to get over to Dock A, that would work for me for, several weeks. But if there's room within, elsewhere in the marina, that's a great solution. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you.
Is that where your boat is?
No,
Oh.
no, good friends who bother me all the time about their issues. Anchor limitation area update, that's the next item.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
So the anchor limitation area, as you guys are well aware of, this is the area in Mandalay Channel that runs where all the anchored vessels are across from the rec center. What this anchor limitation area is you're allowed to anchor there for 45 days. And then after that 45 days, you're not allowed to anchor within 1 mile of that area for 6 months. So we've been working through this with our consultant, and they have received the exemption from the the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. They have received concurrence with the Army Corps of Engineers that no further federal approvals are needed, have received permits from FWC, and the only thing we're waiting on is a response from the Coast Guard on a letter of no objection. So our next step is, once we have these permits in hand, we'll go ahead and permit the area and finalize everything. So, is there any questions with that?
My only one question is, if a person is anchored out that long, obviously, how do you monitor what they're doing with their waste?
There's really no way to do that.
Because they're dumping in the channel.
Ed Chesney, he did a study about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember, when he was the harbor master. And there's good tidal flushing there. There wasn't any fecal matter when they did the water sampling there.
Well, yeah, but you've got tide going in, tide going out. It's not like it's a backwater that it's,
Yeah.
I live up channel, and there are times I go, somebody's dumped a frickin' tank. I see it come by at my house.
Yeah.
I know it's being done. And there's no way you're gonna be on a boat for a month and a half. And,
Yeah, there's no way to monitor
logic
that.
just tells you,
Yeah.
I don't know. Why not require some kind of permit? I mean, there's companies that come and do pump outs. Just make it that as a requirement, that they have to, have a seal or a sign or whatever that somebody has to.
Well, as you're aware that the state, they're the ones that dictate the anchoring laws and the
Sure.
waters. And, we're not allowed to interfere with that. As far as setting a permit, what you'd be talking about would be like a mooring field or something, and there's no ordinance
Right.
that supports a mooring field. So I don't know how we could get there to where we would have to permit somebody.
Right.
Catch a few of them and make exam.
Well,
I don't
that's the
wanna say
problem,
make
is you don't
examples
catch
of
them,
but
you know.
Yeah,
make sure they know we've arrested, 3 people this year that get caught. But I agree, it's hard to get caught. It's with the tide coming in and out.
yeah, I mean, there's just no way to monitor that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like everybody knows they're dumping in that. I mean, it just isn't humanly possible that someone on a boat for a month and a half and they're not going to the bathroom,
Yeah.
you know? And we all have holding tanks on our boats and they don't, they fill up quickly.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
And the last item then is the Stevenson Creek feasibility study.
So we're hoping to have the draft for the Stevenson's Creek feasibility study. So what we did is, a few years ago, we went in and we did slow speed minimum wake zones around the bridges, which is already something that we could utilize to do that. It's already a regulation. So we're still having issues with, people in the middle, in between those zones and the resume normal operations and operating out there. There's, manatees. We've seen pictures and videos of manatees and other wildlife in that area. So what we've done is we went out and we hired a consultant to see if it's feasible or not to dictate that whole creek as slow speed minimum wake. And we're either doing it through boater safety, if that's the avenue that we need to approach to try to get that permit, through environmental, like a manatee area, if that's a good approach to, or if it's just not feasible and there's no way to try to get that area permitted, slow speed minimum wake. We also, as part of this study, have done a shoreline stability test to see if the boat wakes are having any effect on the erosion of the shoreline. And we're hoping to have that report by September 15th. And then we'll take their recommendation and share it with council and you guys and see the best approach moving forward, whether it's feasible or not to permit that area. Is there any questions?
Is the dock project for the condos and the townhomes, I guess, moving ahead?
That's, so they were approved through the Community Development Board. That's just the first step. Now they have to go out and get their permitting, their environmental permits from the county, from FWC and FDEP. So it's in the permitting process, and Pinellas County Waterways has that permit right now, and they're going through it.
Yeah, I realize it's not up to you, but
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's gonna happen. Okay.
Hopefully a long, slow trail.
Yes, yeah. Any further questions? My goodness, is there anything else for the director's report?
No, not today.
Okay. Are there any board members that want to bring up any issues? We're having one of our shorter meetings ever, I think.
I have a couple things. One, any of my plans to move to California have fallen through, and I'll be completing my term. This will be,
It's excellent news.
I believe this will be
Sorry to
my,
hear that.
thank you
Glad
for
to- glad
letting
to hear
me
it.
stay as assistant chairman, co-chairman for half the year, and I'll complete the other half. And I don't know how it'll work come March, that I believe I'll be at 8 years. And we would have to have some sort of, if I were to stay on, it would mean some special permission because we have empty seats.
Correct. For you to stay on, there would have to be no other applicants for the council to consider. But absolutely submit your application if you're gonna be around, you never know.
Okay.
And then if somebody wins the lottery and has to step down because they're gonna, sail away, they're gonna be fine.
And not take me with them,
Unless it's you, yeah.
unless it's me, yes. Good, good.
Okay, good.
Is the environmental board full? This is 6 months in advance, but
I want to say there are vacancies on that. I don't know off the top of my head, but submit the application, put all the boards that you're interested on, and
my late friend Ashley Pimley was on it for years, and she's left us now, but I miss pre-COVID when we'd have the yearly get-together of all the boards.
I know.
And I know her and her girlfriends that are on there, and I know a couple people on other boards, and it was, hopefully, someday we can get back to something like that, because I think it was a surprisingly unifying night of everybody realizing how many of us there are, how many different panels there are. And I'm saying it just because they used to, at 8 years, give you a little plaque, and if we get back to that, I might get my plaques. Ulterior motive. Another item I would like to throw out there, totally unrelated to the marine industry, that we just opened a new theater in Clearwater. I know the city council had a presentation right before you had to go under after that. He was a showman, and then Mike had to go and give his marine update back in March. And then, of course, the next day, 3/5 of the city council that was sitting there listening to this wonderful presentation about all the money that community theater brings in with Francis Wilson, and it was really kind of countywide things, so 8 o'clock theater and Tarpon Arts and.
I watched that council meeting. It was informative. It was.
Yes, and then the next day, 3 of those people were gone because all 5 of them were enthusiastic, and then it disappeared. And that didn't pass over when my friends started applying to get a certificate of occupancy, the plaza at Highland and Sunset Point Road. We just completed our first 3-week run of Academia Nuts. Michael Code from Dunedin Showcase Theater is now on the board of ours and is leaving Dunedin except for the kids. And we'll be starting our Shakespeare production a week from tomorrow. And anything you can do to support it. It's really, it's not community theater because we do pay the actors, but it is a nonprofit. And some of the brightest, Dee O'Brien from Tarpon Arts, the Shakespeareans, and her husband Graham Jones, who at one time was president of Francis Wilson Playhouse, and many other people from the area that were heavily involved and tried to get people in Dunedin involved, but they've been working on their own plan to have a civic theater, which in the time that they started talking about it, and we tried to say, no, come help us, we're gonna roll, they're almost ready to approve the money to do a feasibility study, and in that much time we have opened a theater. So the city of Clearwater, we didn't approach them right as far as getting a CO. I was minorly involved until the very last minute, and I got everybody together in a Zoom meeting so they knew everything they needed because they were talking to one person and one person and one person, and then we got everybody on film saying, here's what you need. And a month later, we opened. We were supposed to open March 1st, and we just opened last month. So anything you can do to support it. As you know, I told you last year, I've retired from acting because I can't remember anymore. But I still support any way I can, and been asked to be the theater manager as soon as they find any kind of money that they can possibly pay me with after the expense of opening it. And I think that's all I had to say.
Any other items? Tina or Rick? Okay, I think we need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
And at that, we'll adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you.